So hi friends, hope you all are well. Team Nursing Extra Mileage welcomes you in another lecture, that is urinary system, which will be divided in two lectures. So this is the part 1. So beginning of the lecture starts with the parts of the system. As the name is urinary, so it is related to urine. So parts of the systems comes with, this is the parts of the system, there comes with 2 kidneys, 2 ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. So this is the 2 kidneys, as we can see in the picture. These are the 2 ureters, 1 urinary bladder, and this is the urethra. So urine getting produced in these both the kidneys, coming via the ureters, getting deposited in the bladder and goes out of the body via the urethra. Now coming to the functions of the system. So the first function is excretion of metabolic waste products and chemicals like urea, uric acid, creatinine and many drugs. So excretion is their main function of this system. Then coming to regulation of body fluid volume and osmolality of urine. So if body fluid getting accumulated, so the excretion, and if body fluid getting depleted, retention of body fluid is the action of the system. Third point is regulation of concentration of electrolytes and various ions, specifically the sodium and potassium ions. Regulation of acid base balance by excreting either excess acid or base. Regulation of arterial blood pressure by adjusting sodium and water excretion, and secretion and production of few hormones like erythropoietin, 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol, renin and prostaglandin. These are the functions of the urinary system. So first coming to the main organ, that is kidney. So what is kidney, how it is looked, and what are their curvatures, what are their structures, we will study in this slide. So first thing is, each kidney is bean shaped. So the kidney structure is bean shaped, as you can see in this picture, and it is 7.5 to 10 centimeter in length and 5 centimeter in width and 2.5 centimeter thick. So length, width and thickness. Lateral border, we can see this is lateral border, this is convex, and this is medial border which is concave. Middle part of the medial border is called hilum. So this is the hilum of the kidney, middle part of the medial border. This is hilum of the kidney, which contains renal vein, renal artery, renal pelvis from anterior to posterior. So you can see this is renal artery, this is renal vein, and this is renal pelvis. They all are situated from anterior to posterior in the hilum of the kidney. Now coming to the coverings and relations of the kidney. Coverings means which all covers are there over the kidney. So there are 3 coverings. Innermost is the fibrous capsule, middle layer is the called fatty capsule or perinephric fat, and outer false capsule or renal fascia. These are the 3 coverings of the kidney. Now coming to the relationship of kidney, means which all organs remains anteriorly and posteriorly of both right and left kidney. So coming to right kidney, it is better to see the next slide. So right kidney having relationship with, this is right kidney, and this slide is related to the A for anterior relationship, and this slide is related, or this picture is related to the posterior relationship of kidney. So right kidney having relationship with duodenum, hepatic flexure of the colon and right lobe of the liver anteriorly, diaphragm and muscles of posterior abdominal wall posteriorly, and right adrenal gland superiorly. So this is the right kidney anterior and posterior relationship, this is right kidney posterior relationship, this is right kidney anterior relationship. As we can see, suprarenal area is above the kidney, and anterior part, that is duodenal area, colic area, These all organs remains anteriorly to the right kidney. And what all there for the left kidney having relationship with spleen and splenic vessels anteriorly, diaphragm and muscles of the posterior abdominal wall posteriorly, and left adrenal gland superiorly. So for the left kidney, superiorly there is suprarenal area, then splenic area, gastric area, all are there anteriorly, and this is the posterior relationship of the left kidney. Then coming to the microscopic structure of the kidney. Kidney may be regarded as a collection of millions of uriniferous tubules. This term is important. Uriniferous means urine producing tubules. Each uriniferous tubule consists of an excretory part called the nephron and a collecting tubule. So the nephron is the functional unit of the kidney. So this is the main important thing, nephron. They are the microscopic structure which can be seen in under the microscope only, and this is the functional unit of a kidney. So let us study what is nephron and what are the structures of the nephron. So if we cut a kidney and take a microscopic cross section, then nephron can be seen under the microscope. So the main part of the nephron is Malpighian corpuscle and renal tubule. So this is the part Malpighian corpuscle, and rest part is the tubule. So Malpighian corpuscle consists of an glomerulus, which is nothing but the blood vessels, and a Bowman's capsule surrounding the glomerulus, a capsule. So glomerulus and Bowman's capsule makes Malpighian corpuscle, these lines. Coming to the renal tubular part consists of a proximal convoluted tubule. This is proximal convoluted tubule. Then the U-shaped part, this is the U-shaped part. This is Henle's loop, loop of Henle or Henle's loop. And then coming to the distal convoluted tubule, this part is the distal convoluted tubule, and distal convoluted tubule ends by joining a collecting duct. This is a collecting duct. Hope you all have understood the parts of the nephron. No confusion should be there. Parts of the nephron are 200% important, be it any exam, be for the whole life. Now pathway of urine, how urine produced, how it comes, how it get excreted from the body. So as we can see in the previous slide, there is a loop of blood vessels called glomerulus inside the Bowman's capsule. So blood gets entered into the afferent arteriole. The arteriole which enters the glomerulus is called the afferent arteriole, and which gets out is called efferent arteriole. So blood enters via the afferent arteriole and exits via the efferent arteriole. The pressure created between the loops of these blood vessels produces some excreta. It gets filtered via the Bowman's capsule and enters in the proximal convoluted tubule. The starting of urine from here only. Then at different parts of the tubule, different ions or solutes gets absorbed or secreted, like sodium, water, potassium, at different parts of the nephron, they gets either absorbed or secreted. Final part of the urine comes into the collecting duct. As you have seen in the previous slide, the parts of the nephron distal to the distal convoluted tubule is called collecting duct. So urine finally comes to the collecting duct, and the collecting ducts draining different nephrons joined to form larger tubule called papillary ducts of Bellini, which opens into a minor calyx at the apex of a renal papilla. Then minor calyx received urine from papilla and deliver into the major calyx, and from the major calyx urine drains into the renal pelvis and then go out by ureter and to the urinary bladder. So this is the pathway how urine gets produced and how urine comes ultimately to the bladder. This is the function of different parts of the nephron. Broadly, the first part glomerulus, which is the loop of the blood vessels, the formation of glomerular filtrate is their function, and water permeability here is extremely high. The proximal convoluted tubule, the function is reabsorption of 65% filtered sodium, potassium, calcium. The percentage need not to be remembered at all, but what all solutes and water, where it is secreted and where it is absorbed, that is the most important. Now coming to the thin descending limb of loop of Henle. Loop of Henle having two parts. A thin descending limb, the descending limb is called thin, and thick ascending limb. So the function of thin descending limb is passive reabsorption of water, important, and thick ascending limb of Henle, they are having function of active reabsorption of 50 to 25% filtered sodium, potassium and chloride, and secondary reabsorption of calcium and magnesium. Then the function of distal convoluted tubule, active reabsorption of sodium and chloride. Collecting tubule having function of sodium reabsorption. So this is how from the urine different substrates gets absorbed or secreted, and finally urine comes to the urinary bladder via the ureter. Then what is the blood supply of the kidney? Kidney is a very vascular organ, so blood supply starts from the renal artery. See the right side of the slide, renal artery, then segmental arteries, then interlobal arteries, then arcuate arteries, then cortical radiate arteries, then afferent arterioles, which enters the glomerular capillaries, and it get out from the glomerulars via the efferent arterioles, then peritubular capillaries, and then the venous drainage of the kidney. So this is the blood supply of the kidney, how the which arteries enters the glomerulars, how it comes from the main branch, and how the venous drainage starts. Coming to a very important organ which is not exactly the part of the nephron but remains just beside the nephron. It is called juxtaglomerular apparatus. It is a specialized organ situated near the glomerulus of each nephron. As the term juxta means near, so it is near the glomerulus of each nephron, a separate organ. It is composed of actually three structures, that is called juxtaglomerular cells, macula densa and lacis cells. We will study in detail. So coming to the juxtaglomerular cells, first we have to see where the juxtaglomerular apparatus remains. So this is the area of juxtaglomerular apparatus. Kindly see to the picture. This is the area of juxtaglomerular apparatus, just my round circle. So what are the three structures just remain in the juxtaglomerular apparatus? First, the juxtaglomerular cells. So these are the juxtaglomerular cells. This. So what is juxtaglomerular cells? Kindly check the lines. A part of the distal convoluted tubule lies close to the vascular pole of the renal corpuscle between the afferent and efferent arterioles. So this is a distal tubule which remains close to the renal corpuscle. In this region, the muscle cells in the wall of the afferent arteriole, it get modified and called the juxtaglomerular cells. Very important line, next line, juxtaglomerular cells contain granules. They contain granules which contain renin enzyme. Renin is a very important enzyme which is secreted by the juxtaglomerular apparatus and very specifically juxtaglomerular cells. Coming to macula densa and lacis cells, let me draw the juxtaglomerular apparatus round circle again. So this is the round circle where juxtaglomerular apparatus remains. It is same as the previous picture. So the wall of the distal convoluted tubule is also modified at the site of contact with the arteriole. So these cells, distal convoluted tubule cells also get modified, and these cells form the macula densa of distal tubule. It is also a part of juxtaglomerular apparatus, and Lassis cells are located in the interval between macula densa and the afferent and efferent arteriole. So, nothing but here remains the Lassis cells. So, this circle is the situation of the juxtaglomerular apparatus, and it is having importance of having the enzyme renin, which is getting secreted from the juxtaglomerular cells. So, coming to the renin-angiotensin system, a very important system in the medical field. So, we have already seen where from the renin gets secreted. So, renin gets released from the kidney, more specifically from the juxtaglomerular apparatus, and from the liver a specific substrate gets secreted, that is called angiotensinogen. So, this renin which gets secreted from the kidney, this acts on the angiotensinogen and it makes angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Then a specific enzyme in the lungs called angiotensin converting enzyme, which acts on the angiotensin 1 and forms angiotensin 2. This angiotensin 2 substrate is important. It is having effect on the blood vessels. It directly acts on the blood vessels, causing vasoconstriction or increased blood pressure. This angiotensinogen also having another effect on the adrenal gland to stimulate the release of aldosterone, and aldosterone then acts for sodium and water retention. So, these are the two functions of the renin-angiotensin system.